Okay guys, as promised, I'm going to show you how to build my gatehouse of death. You start off with a square, and you want to try to get it lined up with the gate so it can be straight as possible. Alright, you want to lay down two just like that. You can move these farther back a little bit if you want. I like to have it so you can access the door from inside of the base once this is up. But then from here, foundation steps this direction. Then you come up to the top of them. You put the square foundations around like this. Okay, that's the basic footprint of my gatehouse. Then we come in here, put these up. I like to put a ladder hatch there. I like to have my doors facing the other way. Have them so they face inward, like that. See how I can access the gate from the corners right there, and yet my doors are still open, or closed, I mean. Then we toss a ladder hatch in right here, facing that way. Now this is just a template for the what is that going in there? It was bugged. This is just the template for the footprint. You can do the upper part however you want. I like to have both my gates facing this way. Put prison cells on like that. You can put armored doors on or tin doors, it's just whatever your preference is. Goes like that. So this is basically how the bottom is, just like this. Okay, now coming up here, you can do this a couple ways. This is how I usually do it. Just because it's kind of a little more inviting. Again, you want this to be as inviting as possible for these guys. You want them to be curious. You can put doors on here. These doors I leave open. You can have them facing whatever way you want. It doesn't really matter too much. Now, on the back side of this, since I leave these open right here usually, what I do is I will put spikes and I usually do 2 rows because you can jump over 1 row. So you just throw 2 rows in there. You can throw some bear traps on it if you want. Just for extra giggles, so to speak. Let's see here. Wow. Pretty sure you can. Let me see. Foundation stairs up, just to make it easier to run in to your base. Now again, this is just a template. You don't have to do it exactly like this. You can do different designs on the bottom. Doesn't seem like you can put them in there anymore. But the spikes should be just fine if you want to do a couple rows, just so they can't go out across them. Now for the inside trap piece, what you want to do is put a floor on like this. Put low walls on like that. Now you can do up here again however you want, but I recommend at least putting a half wall up, but I usually do a full wall here and a full wall here. And then just because I've had this happen, say you're AFK or whatever, and you left your trap house open thinking everything would be safe and fine in it, since you hadn't seen much activity, what I do is I will take and put jail cell doors here. And there. That way if somebody does get past here, they can't smash your traps. Throw locks on those. That way to arm them, you can just go in from the other side, as I'll show you here in a second. But that's basically the makeup. And then you want to put, you know, like some loot boxes. Maybe a couple little furnaces. What I'll usually do is something like this. Put on this side. Put one on this side. You can put one back in here up against the wall there. You want to make sure you put them up against the wall, so they can't reach your boxes. Because the key is they want to come up, you want them to come up the whole way into right here. Because this is where they'll get snapped at, right in this area right here. And then toss a couple boxes on there. Make sure again you have them up against the wall like this, because you don't want them to be able to access and see that there's nothing in it. Like say if you were to have it hanging out like that, you don't have to go in there the whole way to gain access to it. You know, you can just click it right there. So you don't want it to look like that. Like I said, you want them to look just like that right there. Alright, then you want to put a furnace there. Furnace there. You have your doors open. If you're on a hill, right, they won't see those spikes there. But I'm on a slight incline, so you'll be able to see the spikes. Like I said, you don't have to put these doors here. You can have that just a solid wall, and then you can have this boxes like this lined the whole way across it if you want. And you could have, like, say, a couple furnaces in right here. But this is the basic setup for the bottom. Usually what I'll do after this is I'll put a roof on it. Whoops. You can see like that. Okay, now you see there's a gap up there. You can put just low walls in right here if you want. Or you can put a full wall. It's just whatever your preference is in building up higher. I usually put a full wall. Okay, now above the gatehouse here, here's your little trap area looking all inviting. This is what they see basically. They see that when they come in. Up here, what I usually do is something similar to this. Walls on either side. You put... Again, this is whatever your preference is. I put these in just so you can see the trap get tripped, or if there is one that's tripped while you're over on this side. Again, it's just whatever your preference is. Your traps will go. You want to make sure you hide the chain. It's the most important thing. And usually it's easier to do this when these are off. You can put double doors there too. But you want to kind of hide it about like... this. And here's why. If you have it too far, say in here like this, see how far that sticks out? The chain from it's sticking out. When you're down here, coming up, you can see that right there. And anybody will know that does this, that's a trap right there. That and over that far, it's not going to hit them either. So notice how I'm not tripping that one at all. So you don't really want them right there. You want them to be lined up right where that one's at. You want them to be just like this. Try to get them as close to as each other as you can, just like that. And then you want to just do a line of them. Now you want to make sure you stack them inside each other as far as they'll go. And I'll show you here in a second why. You want them to look like this, basically. Try not to have it overhanging this ledge at all either, because it's another dead giveaway that's more than likely a trap, because you'll see the chain or whatever. Just kind of stack them right in there like that. Okay, now this is why. Notice before I only tripped the one. Okay, now oh, I trip 4 of them when I go up. Now that's going to instantly kill the most geared person. And depending where they come up, they might even trip more than that. As you can see, well, I tripped 4 again that time. But overlapping them like that causes them to set off multiple ones at once. So you want to just do that right there the whole way across this. You can even go one more out. It's not necessarily because I've rarely seen a 3rd row get tripped. 2 rows just like that does just fine. That way, also once they're tripped, you can from this side come in, and you'll be able to arm them all. If you don't put these here and you just have regular wall there, that's fine again, because you can always just jump up and arm them. Now, over here, what you want to do is this. Put in 2 windows there. This is, depending on how close you are, you can shoot down. You can put a little box there, but you can shoot down at anybody. I put window bars in there just in case they do blow your gate. They can't jump into this floor here. From here, you just want to, if you can, a lot of times you get this right here where you can't put it in because of how your gate's set up. All you do in that circumstance is you can put a floor in, but you can't put a ladder hatch. Drop a floor right above your ladder hatch, and then put a set of stairs in. And again, you can design up here however you want. I usually go one more higher. And you can do multiple things in here. Like I said, you can have a ladder hatch down to it instead of doors here. It's just whatever your preference. You can mess around with it however you want. But for now, I'm just going to put floors in here because I usually put like a little loot in there or something. I do that. Okay, notice how that kind of whoop. Let me just put on that clip. But it I'll probably take that out. Okay, what I usually do here is I'll just put in a wall like this. Now, you can, again, put in doors here if you want. What I usually do is I'll put a second set of stairs on to get you up here. I'm a little bit far in on this side. Let's see if this works. Okay. Now you can do a little something like this. And what I usually do is at this point in time, I'll end my little tower. Like, you can go higher, like I said, above the foundations, whatever you want to do. Usually here I'll put on, I know this looks weird. Why would I put a ladder hatch on a set of stairs? But there's a reason for it. It's so I can put this on here like that. And I'll be able to attach my roof to it. Possibly attach my roof to it. There we go. There we go. Alright. So now you have your roof attached to it. Now I'll put a couple doors on. I usually have these ones facing outwards. You can have them facing in. It doesn't really matter. But then what you want to do is you want to light this up basically with a bunch of fires or whatever. You can climb in here into the gatehouse, onto the top of the gate. I usually put a sleeping bag up here. You can lay one down. I'll put lights on these. Fires across the top just to kind of make it inviting. And the reason I put the doors facing out is so it gives you a little bit of cover if you're up top. You can shoot down, you know, and you're not going to get hit from the side as well. And you can also jump down, you know, major thing. Putting the stairs through the wall slightly like this makes it so you can get back up into your base from the wall easily. But then you throw a couple doors on. Like that. You got your little loot area for stashing stuff after somebody fell into your trap. And it's just that easy.